Hello ladies and gentlemen, Ford here from Ford's Tool Reviews. We've got a lot to cover in this video that I have probably not covered in my last two videos. We've talked about my 3-month hiatus off of YouTube. Nothing was wrong. If you want to see what happened, go to my why I've been off YouTube. It's the video I made about 3 or 2 days ago. I took Christmas off. I'm taking New Year's Eve and New Year's Day off. And January 2nd, I will not be uploading, and my uploading schedule is going to go back and forth yet again. So please bear with me. Schooling is over, graduation has happened, and employment is what I am seeking. So, enough about that. What I am about to review and reveal to you guys is a tool, but there are some things I need to tell you about this tool. Number one, this was a Christmas gift, but this was not a gift I received on Christmas Day. This tool I have had in possession for over 3 weeks at least. I've had this tool for 3 weeks, and I wanted to give it a fair shake and a fair test before I did a review on the tool. Number two, this tool is not cheap. And this tool was not bought with my own money. This is not a sponsorship video. This tool was a graduation gift from my school in the mechanical department, which I was learning how to do something. They got me this tool. It's an awesome tool. I think it's about time we bring it out. A little bit more about this tool. This tool is probably one of the most handy tools you can have in your toolbox, especially if you are an automotive technician or mechanic. You've got to get this tool. It's awesome. Number two, it's super versatile. It's versatile in woodworking. It's versatile in auto mechanics and maintenance, computer repair, sheet metal work. You can use it on anything. If you have a nut and a bolt, you're going to want this. Let me go ahead and bring out this tool. Some of you guys are probably not familiar with the brand either, so I'm going to show you what the brand name is, and then I'm going to bring out the tool. This is from a company called Ingersoll-Rand. Ingersoll-Rand. This is the carry bag. I'm really excited to show you guys this tool. It's so awesome. Okay, so here's the tool. Alright. What's so special about it, Ford? That's what you're asking right now. What's so special about it? Why should I want that? And what the heck is it? Well, for those of you guys who do not know what this is an auto ratchet. But it's different. This is made by a company called Ingersoll-Rand. And it is a auto ratchet. It's an auto ratchet. So there's the battery. The battery, we'll get into the battery first, of course. This is the battery. It is a 12 volt R20 lithium ion battery. It is manufactured by Ingersoll-Rand. It is a lithium ion battery pack. The battery number is BL1203. It is manufactured in Davidson, North Carolina. And it is, well, it's shipped to that place. And it's manufactured in Taiwan. So, right off the bat, this is a really good tool. Battery to have. The positive is on this side. The negative is on this side. To reduce the risk of injury, user must read instruction manual. If you hurt yourself with this thing, you're doing something seriously wrong. You're failing mechanics codes. Anyway, this battery is special. If you guys remember, a couple of years ago, they wanted to put a battery indicator on their batteries on most tools made in the US and imported into the US through other companies. This one being Taiwan. Well, there's a battery indicator on the battery right here, and if you push it, it will tell you how many bars you have. Currently, this one is 75% charged. I'll push it again. There's the 3 bars that light up. There's a 4th bar right there. Enough about that. Let's talk about the Ratchet. So this Ratchet is a mechanical electrical ratchet. It is used by mechanics. Actually was used at my job by mechanics, and I actually got, school. It's not a job, it was a school. For automotive technician and maintenance class. Ratchet wrench, 1/4 inch drive. The RPM is 260 rotations per minute. Model number is R1120. Serial number is T1A0142. It is made by Intertech and Ingersoll-Rand tools. And I think that we should go ahead and test it in another video, but see if it works. I have tested it, but I'm not going to reveal if it works or not without doing it live on camera. Sorry if I sound a little exhausted. Now, fortunately, I have some sockets that fit this. This uses a standard 1/4 inch drive, anvil head, and I have SAE and metrics when I went to my Harbor Freight trip to get the ratcheting screwdrivers. And voila, they fit just fine. No problems, no issues, 1/4 inch drive. I am, however, looking into getting an extension set, and I'm also thinking about getting a 1/4 inch drive socket set for my mechanics toolbox, the black and gray toolbox. And unfortunately, I don't think I have any bolts that I can turn down here as of right now. I think all of them got used on projects this year. But that doesn't mean that we can't slap the battery in. Let me let you guys look at the charger. This is a IQ charger or Qi charger, sort of in sorts. And oh yeah, there's a USB port on the side. I forgot that there's a USB port on the side. You can charge your phone from this, which I think is really cool. Of course, you have your positive, and you have your negative, and you have your warnings here. Definitely don't want to touch your exposed metal prongs or put your hand anywhere near here. Battery indicators that say, okay, it's charged. And there's a red one that says, troubleshoot, read in the owner's manual. And of course, they also give you the option to mount this onto a wall, which I think is pretty cool. I'm actually more interested in this USB port because I genuinely did not know this was here. I think that's a really good option. Way to go, Ingersoll-Rand. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of the tool, which is testing it. So, the way you insert the battery is just like any other Ingersoll-Rand tool. If you are familiar with these, the battery slides in like that. You push the button on the indicator for the battery to see your battery level. And then here's your selector switch, just like on any other ratchet. Turn it that way, it goes to tighten. Turn it this way, it goes to loosen. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Try the other way. I like this ratchet. Of course, it also has a little flashlight right here so you can see what you're doing, whether it goes on your socket, your extension, or whatever you're using. Let's go ahead and put a socket on this thing and see how it works. Alright, so I've got my favorite size, of course, which is a 7/16, and then there's a 1/2 inch, and then there's a 3/8 is my third favorite size. So we're going to go ahead and try it. Of course, this wrench is going to wobble. The socket is not going to fit perfectly on the anvil because, after all, these are Harbor Freight sockets. So what do you expect? They're not terrible, but they're not great. They seem to like this ratchet wrench, though. And they seem to work really well with them. I've not had a single issue. Let's try another one just to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Let's try a 1/4 inch. Very, very small fastener. Not very likely, unless you're repairing computers, it's not very likely that you're going to use an auto ratchet for these 1/4 inch drive hex heads, but let's go ahead and give it a try anyway, because I'm curious. Yeah, it works fine. That's pretty cool. So, I would love to do a live test of this. I'm going to unfortunately have to wait until the weather gets warmer because if you guys know, lithium can take the cold, but it's not recommended to use lithium in the cold unless you absolutely have to. I personally, if it's below 35 degrees outside, or if it's even below 40 degrees, I definitely would not even bother using a tool that's battery operated. I'd rather go safer and use a corded tool just to be safe, because once that insides of that tool get cold, ice will probably start to form on whatever moisture's on there, and a battery will not have enough power to break that ice loose. And it's not recommended to do that in a motor anyway. Also, the fact that this has a metal housing over it, this is actual steel. I wouldn't recommend using this in the cold unless you are absolutely sure that it's going to work fine. Now, I will have to figure out what kind of grease this thing takes, because it is a mechanical tool. And this is the first mechanical tool that I've had like this that has used a ratcheting mechanism like this. Now, what are the things that I don't necessarily like about this tool? The number one thing that I'm not a huge fan of, and I've told people this over and over and over, I am not a huge fan of the 1/4 inch anvil size. I don't like them. Nothing wrong with this one, because you're not going to be putting a lot of torque. You're going to be using this basically to start the fasteners and might turn the wrench. But given the size and the beefiness of this tool, I'm afraid if I use this as a regular ratchet, it's probably going to snap the anvil clean off. Of course, it might not. It may be cold hardened forged steel, and I may not have anything to worry about. Even still, I'm not a huge fan of the 1/4 inch. I kind of do wish that it was in the 3/8 or 1/2 inch size, but I'm not going to complain. The other thing I'm not really a huge fan of is you only get one battery with this pack, And I've looked up the price on these batteries, and they are $40 to $60 a piece. In some cases, you could probably find them for cheaper. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of that for several reasons. One of those reasons is if I buy a tool and it's going to cost me $60 to replace the battery, I'm definitely going to buy from Ingersoll-Rand or a higher company like that, not from Harbor Freight. But I'm still not going to be happy because I'm spending $60 on one battery. I don't really care if the indicator says, oh, well, you got this much charge. Yeah, if I say it's too much money for a battery, it's a little too much money for a battery. $40, okay, that's a little reasonable. $35 is more along the lines of what I'm looking at, because they're not going to be cheap. But for a tool that costs upwards of maybe $120, right up to about $300, $400, I'm not sure what the price range is on this, because different retailers who buy from Ingersoll-Rand will sell these for different dollar amounts. And let's be honest, they want to make a profit and make a profit back to Ingersoll-Rand. It's the same with Snap-on. It's the same with the Harbor Freight earthquake variant. It's the same thing. It's the same with Milwaukee. That's something else I'm not a huge fan of with these. Other than that, I've heard people say these are really good tools. They're excellent tools to keep in your workshop, in your garage, wherever. And they save the hassle of trying to get your hand on a ratchet and trying to turn the ratchets. Especially in another plus thing about this, while I'm talking about tightening and loosening, this is, from what I understand, this Ingersoll-Rand ratchet, I know I keep repeating myself, there was a reason this thing was designed. And a lot of people misconcept what this was designed for. A lot of people think, oh, that was designed to use as a tool for just battery operations, and if you don't want to, grab a regular ratchet wrench. And they're right, halfway, partially right. Oh, it was also designed for mechanics. Again, you're partially right. Here's where you're kind of wrong. The design of the auto ratchet, from what I understand, was this. Mechanics were tired of cutting their knuckles on sharp car parts underneath the engine bay and underneath the framework of the car, where rocks and stuff get in there. And even with mechanics gloves, these people were still getting cut on their hands. So Ingersoll-Rand, Milwaukee, Earthquake, all of these companies, Ryobi may be getting ready to come out with one of these. I really wish that they would. Ryobi? Anyway, they got tired of cutting their hands. This is also partially an OSHA tool, because when they came out with the swivel sockets and the swivel extensions, these were really popular. The popularity for these got increased because all you would need to do was squeeze a trigger, quote unquote, and have the wrench do all the work. Pull it down, pop it the other way, and have the wrench do it for you. Now you may be saying, well, Ford, that's all well and good, but what are you getting at? Well, there was another reason that this tool was designed. This tool was designed, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, for people that couldn't use impacts and didn't want to use ratchets. There are some people out there, believe me, I know, in the tool community, they do not like certain ratchets. They do not like this. They do not like that. I've not heard anybody give these a bad review. Ingersoll, Milwaukee, Earthquake, Ryobi's coming out with one, Irwin's coming out with one, probably in the near future. Everyone's going to jump on this bandwagon because they're very reliable. I've not had this thing fail on me since I got the thing. Of course, you may want to put some navel jelly as grease in here, or Ingersoll-Rand's blue grease that's inside of the housing already to lubricate it because it is a moving part. But that's how these came about. That's how these came about and how they came to be. So, what am I getting at here? What is my final discussion on this? What is my final verdict on this tool? A couple of things I didn't like also. No extensions with the kit and no sockets with the kit. Battery, charger, wrench. That's all you get. I really wish, at least, since 1/4-inch drive sockets are ridiculously cheap at Harbor Freight, that they would have included some extensions for the ratchet. And I'll explain why. When you're an intermediate mechanic or you're an entry-level mechanic, you're not going to have a lot of money. And if you, by some grace of whatever, get the tool, you're shelling out probably $300 for the battery, charger, and the ratchet itself. It doesn't matter which one you get, where you get it from. Harbor Freight, you may not spend over $300, but you're going to spend over $150. I think that's still a little too steep, especially when you, the buyer, have to go out and say, "Oh well, I'm going to need extensions. I'm going to need swivel sockets, and I'm going to need sockets, swivel heads for sockets and sockets." And put in this, if you will, the different kinds of sockets that you're going to have to get. So not only are you going to be buying SAE or metric, no, you're going to be buying SAE and metric. That's why these are sold in combo kits now. People got tired of that. Doesn't come in the kit. So Ingersoll-Rand, if you are listening to this video, I know I'm a smaller YouTuber, put some sockets in this set. Contact Pittsburgh, just a recommendation, and ask them, "Hey, we like these little metric and standard sockets. You mind if we put a couple of those from you guys in our kit for about maybe $2 each?" Because that's what these are worth, probably about $2 each. Maybe $2.75 each. I know it's a lot to ask for, but it would really set the whole kit off where people could just slap the battery in, charge it, slap the battery in, turn the dial, put grease in, put an extension on, put the socket on, squeeze the trigger, and start fixing their automobile or fixing whatever they have. My final verdict on this tool, though, is very useful, not a regret if you buy one. As I said before, I'm not sponsored by Ingersoll-Rand, Ryobi, or any of these other tool companies. I got this as a graduation gift. So, go to Ingersollrand.com and you can find one of these. I do believe that the website should be on the tool itself. I would think it would be. And yeah, irtools.com. You go down to irtools.com, Ingersollrand.com. It's their IQ series 12-volt battery. The number is BL1203, and I mean, it's a great thing. It's sold from Taiwan to Davidson, North Carolina, and that's about it. You can find more information on their website, I'm sure. It would take me another half hour to go through all the data that's on the bottom of the battery. And there is a owner's manual that gets sent with this. I do believe it should be in here. No, it's not. I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing. Oh, and you get a carry bag. I may have showed it at the beginning, but you do get a nice little Ingersoll-Rand carry bag. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this unboxing review of the Ingersoll-Rand. There will be a part 2. However, to do a proper part 2, I'm going to have to find a situation of which that I'm going to need to use my auto ratchet. And currently, right now, I'm in a bit of a predicament, as I don't have a reason to use this quite yet. Getting there, I'm hoping. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this extremely long video. Again, it's such an elaborate tool, and it's so complicated to talk about these auto ratchets, because you can scratch beneath the surface, or you can go all out. It's up to you when you do these reviews yourself. I prefer not to beat around the bush and just say, look, this is what this is what this has. Is it a good buy? Is it not a good buy? You know, it's ultimately up to you, the consumer of the product. I've been pretty happy with the Ingersoll-Rand ratchet, but that doesn't mean everybody else will be. So this is what is hopefully going to spark 2019 for me, whether I go into auto mechanics or not. Yeah, that blue stuff that's in there as grease looks like navel jelly, which is good, or petroleum jelly. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to end the video right here. If you guys haven't supported my channel, again, if you haven't seen the videos I made a few days ago, please check them out. I do apologize yet again for the 3-month hiatus I did off of YouTube to finish this schooling program that I was going through. And I will try my hardest, now that I am looking for a job, to upload as much as possible. There's no guarantees. There are never any guarantees. I did a guarantee one time and it completely backfired on me. So I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Kwanzaa, or a happy whatever you celebrated or celebrate. And I hope to see you guys in future uploads. As I said before, we are making another trip out to Harbor Freight Tools. We will probably be making another trip out to Lowe's. We will probably be making another trip out to Home Depot. And maybe, if we're lucky, I may probably drive out to Northern Tool to go look at some more tools. The channel change is still pending. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this channel yet, but I will definitely let you guys know as soon as possible. And until next time, guys, I will see you guys in the next one, and I will try to be in as many chats as I can be. Thank you guys for your support. I'm loving to give support back. Have a great night, everybody. Peace out.